Welcome to Right Now, the podcast of the I94 West Chamber of Commerce, brought to you by Clear Simple Business. I'm Greg Anzels.
I'm Sarah Becker.
And I'm Carl on the controls.
It's good to be back. We've got a great vidcast for you today. It's our sixth already.
Wow.
We've been at this for a couple of months. It's been a lot of fun. We've got Cloud Media here with us today on the production side of things, and it's hard to believe we started this at the start of summer, and now here we are already in September. It's kind of crazy, Sarah.
I know. It goes from 90 degrees to 60 in a week, which seems unfair.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right that it turns to September and the temperature drops 20 degrees. But here we are. We're excited for a great show. We've got an awesome special guest with us today that we're going to bring in here in a minute. And, of course, we're coming to you from the global headquarters of Rogers Printing and Promotional here, which supplies office space for the Chamber of Commerce. So we're always appreciative of all of our chamber sponsors, and especially Roger Sabat at Rogers Printing. So here we are again. We're ready to rock and roll for a great show. Thanks for joining us. And it's been a busy couple of weeks. We're going to talk a little bit about an upcoming golf tournament event. That's an annual highlight of our chamber year. We've had a lot of new members and renewals come in the last few weeks, which is exciting to see. Business is picking back up for everybody, right? And we hope that it continues to move in a positive direction. And we've got some updates on those new members as well as the renewals. But before we jump in too far on chamber business, we're going to bring in a special guest today, Craig Dockin, who is a shareholder at Henningsen and Snoxel. And Craig and the entire practice over there have been heavily involved with the Chamber of Commerce for well over a decade. Great supporters of all things chamber business related. And specifically today, we're going to bring in Craig to talk about the I94 Chamber of Commerce golf outing. And the good people at Henningsen Snoxel stepped up as our champion sponsor, which we're going to talk about that. But also Craig's been involved with our golf committee for a number of years. So it's great to have members of the community involved with what we're doing here at the chamber. And we love to promote things within their business as they get involved with the chamber, much like yourself and much like myself. So we're happy to bring in Craig Dockin today. Craig, can you hear us?
I'm hearing you guys perfect.
All right, we got you.
And you know what? That was my my
Technical difficulties.
iMac that did not have the volume turned up, so technical difficulty.
So it's your fault that they can't hear, right?
Typically,
Not
it is
mine.
my fault. Thank you for pointing that out. And good morning, Craig.
Good to see you again, Craig. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. We wanted to have you on today to talk about all the great things that are going on in the I94 West Chamber of Commerce, and specifically our golf event on Tuesday, September 29th at Fox Hollow. You've been a longtime member of the golf committee, and we're excited to put on a great event. So we're looking forward to having you involved.
Well, thank you very much. And I really do enjoy working on that committee, giving back to I94. At I94, the chamber has been very good to us and as a firm. And we really do enjoy giving back. So.
Well, I know
It's a good group. It's a very good group of people who are putting this together.
it is. You're exactly right, Craig. We've got a great golf committee. Sarah serves on that, as well as Carl Gebhardt from the Bank of Elk River is our chair this year, and Dave Hansen from Clam. It's a great group of people. We really enjoy putting on an awesome event, and Fox Hollow has been a great host for us over the past several years. So we're excited to get back out there.
Yes, absolutely. And the best thing about having it out at Fox, they're right in the community. They're also, if I'm correct in my comment here, I believe they're also members of the chamber. So it's nice to have everybody together at a location and a very nice golf course as well.
It really is, and we're looking forward to seeing how you, as our champion sponsor, perform on the golf course this year. But really, we're here to talk about the event itself, and not the 10 under, 12 under, 15 under you're gonna put on the board this year. No pressure.
Well, that's usually the people that I bring along with me. I don't have anything to do with that. So,
Well, we're looking forward to a great day. As you know, the committee has been working hard on, the moving parts of the world we live in today in terms of the variables on what we can and can't do. What can you give us in terms of an update on the day so far as it's coming together?
well, the committee has been meeting for quite some time now. We've got another meeting coming up in the next week or so, 2 weeks, I believe, a final wrap up. But right now, as we sit, it looks like things are pretty well in place. We're down a few golfers from what we were last year and the year before. I believe we're somewhere in the 90s in terms of actual golfers. So that means we've got plenty of space for some more golfers. Part of it isn't overly surprising, given COVID. But what I can tell people is we are taking extreme precautions with respect to this event. We're not going to have the golf carts lined up in a row like we usually do. We're putting them in pods so that they're all separated. I believe it's going to be 5 or 6 golf carts per pod, so we'll keep people spread out. The other thing that we have decided against this year would be the end of tournament or end of day banquet. And again, that's a COVID related matter. We do have, we're thinking about some special gifts for people on the way out that would take the place of the dinner. But we will nevertheless have a good day. We just are going to try to stay apart and keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want everyone to know that there certainly is opportunities to participate as a golfer as well as a volunteer. If you're not a golfer, it's still a really fun day to come out. We've got plenty of activities. We put some new twists into the round of golf this year, including a speed hole, which is going to be sponsored by our friends over at Clam and Blackfish. And there's gonna be some great prizes, actually some Blackfish gear, right, Craig, for people who finish the group that finishes the hole the fastest, irregardless of the score. Dave Hansen over at Clam has some awesome Blackfish gear for that group.
Yeah, so when you do play that hole, and I believe we're going to put it on a par 5, give some thought as to how it is that your foursome can finish that hole quicker than anybody else. I've got my own ideas, but people have got now about 3 weeks to come up with your idea, because I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Right. Well, there's always going to be an opportunity for a volunteer to man that hole and to see how Craig plays it, which will be a lot of fun. And in addition to the speed hole, we also have a dice game at one of the holes where if you roll a certain die or dice, you're able to tee off at a different location. So we're trying to change things up a little bit with the event and keep it exciting for everybody. Craig, we've done really well selling sponsorships as well.
From what I understand, all of our whole sponsorships have been taken. However, that's not to say that there aren't other sponsorships that are available, or a sponsorship that create for you. That's the thing about the times that we're in. It's creativity that is key, and we are prepared to be very creative with respect to sponsorships. So if you are interested in contributing to the chamber and specifically this event, let us know, and we will make sure that you are prominently displayed sponsor.
Yeah, we definitely have a great network supporting the event today, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the podcast, some of the specific companies that have stepped up, and there's a lot of them. So thank you to to all the generous supporters of the event. But Craig, you really hit on something special, which is, we're getting creative in putting on this event. And just to kind of walk through the day quickly, we're going to start off, as you mentioned, with people registering and then gathering and then departing from one of 6 different pods. And then you'll return to that same pod, which will allow us that social distancing and quite frankly was sort of the linchpin at Fox Hollow Golf Course for allowing us to do a shotgun start. And we're going to have a tee-off beverage for everyone. We're going to have a lunch at the turn, which is going to be a hot dog or brat or burger, bag of chips, and a drink there. So we're doing some special things in this crazy pandemic year. And then we're also going to have, Craig, the parting gift. You alluded to something special at the end of the day, and our good friends over at J&B Group are going to provide, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I think there'll be a little bit of a wow factor for golfers because we're not allowed because of restrictions, as you said, Craig, sit-down gathering. So what we're going to do is send everybody home with something super special from our friends at J&B.
That's correct, and I will continue to keep it under wraps.
And then, of course, after we wrap up the golf day, because we don't have a dinner and a sit-down dinner and that awards ceremony, so to speak, Craig, myself, and Carl Gebhardt from the Bank of Elk River are going to do a Facebook Live event where we're going to announce the winning team, the long drive, the long putt, closest to the pin, all of those great awards we give out every year for recognition for the performance on the golf course. And I'll tell you what, Craig, some of those scores that have come in over the past few years are pretty amazing. And I'm sure Roger Sabat has his ear up against the door here listening to see if we're going to talk about him. But I'll tell you what, those Sabats sure know how to play golf.
Yeah, how many years in a row have they won?
Too many.
Too
Too many. Too many is the answer.
Yours is my group's been second.
You need to get some ringers on there this year.
One thing I would also like to mention with respect to COVID safety precautions, Fox Hollow, I believe, we've got dividers in all of the golf carts. I believe what they have is a plastic shield or plastic that comes down between the 2 golfers. If that's what you choose to do, that's available for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We work very closely with Eric at Fox Hollow. That golf course is definitely playing by the rules in terms of the restrictions and what we can and can't do at events. And we fully support that. We, as a chamber, want to be leaders in doing all the right things. And I feel confident that we're going to have a very safe event and that measures are in place to assure that safety. So you're exactly right, Craig. Eric at Fox Hollow has done a wonderful job.
It's like everything else we do now. This might be the new, or the new normal, I guess. But I don't necessarily see any problems with respect to the tournament itself. We're just going to try things a little differently because of necessity.
Right. And before we jump in, I know Sarah wants to talk a little bit about your practice with you here, but we've got 3 hole-in-one opportunities at the golf course this year for our outing, $5,000 opportunities on 3 different holes. And Craig, wouldn't that be fun to see someone drop one in a single shot? That'd be a lot of fun to see a hole-in-one. I don't think we've ever had one at this event, and it'd be a lot of fun.
Not as long as I played in this tournament have I seen one, but there's always a first, and maybe this is the year.
So I have to ask, have you ever had a hole-in-one?
I have not had a hole-in-one. In fact, I've never seen a hole-in-one.
Well, I've had 2 or 3 of them, and one hit off the windmill at Wisconsin Dells and then bounced off the rock and then hit the clown's mouth and went in. It was absolutely unbelievable. And then the next year when I returned to the wilderness at Wisconsin Dells, I hit that same windmill off the clown's mouth and dunked it again. So
you've got that hole figured out.
Put me on a real track and it's a different story. But we want to talk a little bit about all the great things you're doing over there at Henningsen and Snoxel. and we know you're into the several primary areas of practice. So would love to hear a little bit more about all the great things happening at Henningsen and Snoxville.
Thank you. I'd be glad to talk about the firm. As you indicated at the outset of this podcast, that I am one of the shareholders here at Henningsen and Snoxville. We like to think of ourselves as a general practice firm, which means we do darn near anything that comes in the door. Few exceptions, but for the most part, any type of case, whether it's litigation or real estate or probate or wills or you name it, family law, we do it. The beautiful thing about it is we don't have anybody here who's a general practitioner. That means that every lawyer we have here has his or her own niche or specialty. So what you have when you come here is a person who is very knowledgeable, at least with respect to that particular area of law. We've been here in the community for over 40 years. And we've got a firm of 16 lawyers, total office size. I think I'm pushing, or if I'm a little over 40 total employees here. So, and there's a number of people who are familiar with us. For those who are not, we're located off of 494, pretty much by Bass Lake Road in the 94, 694, 494 intersection. So be
And
glad to
Craig,
help anybody out. Just give us a call.
And what's your specialty area?
I have been a litigator since I began practice. And I primarily, there's a couple areas that I practice in. I do a lot of work for banks, and I do, the other part of my practice is construction related litigation. So whether it's design defects or, problems with construction, either from the homeowner's side, business owner's side, or from the contractors or engineers themselves.
And what's the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of us, you can either, you can find our website. That's a very easy way to find out who we are on our website. We've got, it talks about, of course, what we do, who we are, who's here. Each lawyer has his or her own section of the website. So you can see, who we are, what we do. We all have a video that we've done. Another way to get in touch with us is by phone, which our phone number is 763-560-5700. Those are probably the best ways to get a hold of us.
Great. Thank you so much, Craig, for being on. Really appreciate all the work you've done with the golf tournament. It's great that we're still able to have that and be creative on how we're able to have that so that we can keep everyone safe. It's going to be a great time. And as a reminder, if you're not a golfer, there are still, I'm assuming, volunteer opportunities available that you could come and at least be part of the day. And thank you for Henningsen and Snoxville. Not only do you do a lot with the golf tournament and making sure that that's an exceptional day for all of our members, but you also participate very heavily in all the other events and sponsorships, and we just greatly appreciate your time and the amount of time and effort that you put into making this chamber a great place to be.
Well, thank you very much. And I will say that the chamber has been very good to us, and that's the reason why we spend as much time with you and volunteer our time and contribute as much as we do. So thank you.
Yeah, and we miss David Henningsen. I was served on the board with David for a few years, and we certainly miss him. I know he's happy in retirement, but our champions sponsor, thanks for joining us, Craig, and have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes,
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Craig and the gang over there at Henningsen and Snoxville, they're great people, and we've got a lot of awesome sponsors. And I'm I'm going to do some shout outs here really quickly because there's so many companies that have been involved with a golf outing for so many years. And one of my favorite stories, Sarah, is um, David Carlson over there at Tegrity. Each and every year sponsors a competition with a Tegrity ball. So it's a facilities management company over there in St. Michael. And David buys balls and puts his logo on them. And every group gets one ball, and it's a Tegrity ball. And you have to play with it, rotate shots amongst your group. So every time someone plays a shot, the Tegrity ball has to be in play.
Yeah, every round. Your goal is to not lose it.
That is correct. And the first year I was out there, David hands the winning group a pile of cash at the end of the round if you don't lose this Tegrity ball. So the first year I was out there, I'll never forget it because it was my first time playing in the I94 West Chamber golf outing, and I met David, and here's the ball sitting on the tee. And I turn around. I'm not going to mention who said this to me, but he says, whatever you do, don't lose that ball. Well, I'll say who it was. It was Rick Ely, the mayor of Rogers. I was playing with Rick, and of course, Rick looks at me and says, Greg, do not lose that ball. And so the pressure's on.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that ball went so far into the woods on the first shot of the tournament, he's never let me forget it.
And you could go into the woods and find it. That's part
I could have gone in there. I would have came out with
It was
poison
too
ivy.
far.
Actually, I think that ball was halfway to Maple Grove. But nonetheless, there's a lot of fun things happening the day of the golf event. The Tegrity Ball, of course. Derek Larson is from Edward Jones is sponsoring a one-putt competition, which has become kind of the highlight of the start of the event, which is folks pay $10 to get a ball, and they stand around the putting green. This year we're going to social distance all the way around the green, and everyone putts at the same time, and if you drain the putt, you win half the pot. So that's been a really fun way to kick off the event. We talked a little bit about the Blackfish-sponsored speed hole, which is going to be a lot of fun, and I talked about the awesome gear that they're going to have available for that winning team.
Yeah, that's very nice gear.
We talked about J&B at the end of the event. I'm going to skip around here a little bit, but J&B is going to have an awesome gift. Again, I'm not going to give that away. Our master sponsor for the event is the Blue 42 Agency. We just spoke with Henningsen and Snoxel. Our bronze sponsors are Farmers State Bank and FedEx. And then we've just got a whole host of whole sponsors. And believe it or not, I'm going to rip through them really quick here. You ready? This is going to be like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere.
Wait, is the Margarita Bar happening? Do we know that?
We know the Margarita Bar is happening. And as Sarah's talking about, that is an absolute highlight of the year, highlight of the event. Commercial Realty Solutions mixes up margaritas. And boy,
Some people don't make it past hole one. That is not the speed hole.
I don't know if they don't make it past or they're just kind of hanging out there. It's a little bit of Jimmy Buffett feel too, but Commercial Realty Solutions, Grease Lenhart Allen, Serpro, Franklin, MCSI, KLC, Holiday Inn Northwest up in Elk River, Metro Paving, Atlas Staffing, Guardian Angels, Card Connect, Fast Signs. Alan Wiley is going to join us this year again with People's Home Mortgage and Financial Security Bank, Midwest One, Centerpoint Energy, Ace Solid Waste, Minnesota Business Finance Corp, Country Inn and Suites, and John Batama with USB. And Sarah, we're going to have a swag bag sponsor, which is Viking Trophy. We're going to have a drink sponsor, beverage sponsor, which is the Bank of Elk River. The putting green sponsor is Hawkinson Anderson. And Jurens, of course, Lynn Jurens is always so supportive. He's going to have a tee-off beverage for everybody. And boy, oh boy, Bill Carrington, Agento Dental, and Guadalajara are going to sponsor a hole-in-one competition. They're not on the hook to pay the $5,000 if someone knocks one in the jar, but they're sponsoring
But
it.
they're sponsored.
So it's a good list of sponsors. It's going to be a great day. Tuesday, September 29th. Check out the website and join us if you can. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the best events of the year. So even if you don't golf, there's an opportunity for you to get involved.
The summer, Sarah, we talked about it at the start. It's gone. It's like, I always think of that Don Henley song. Now I'm going to talk about Will looking like Don Henley, but I'm not going to. The boys of summer are gone, and we're heading into fall. And kind of a interesting switch with, kids going back to school or not going back to school. We've got a lot of variables at home, which of course impacts people's ability to do business. But I kind of feel like things are heading in a good direction.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get back into the swing of things with school, whether that's kind of the normal in-person or hybrid. It at least gives you some schedule to work with and some consistency. And I think, everything's going in the right direction. Business, even for myself, business is starting to pick up. I think organizations are starting to get used to the kind of that new normal, not so much on pause anymore and kind of waiting for it to get done, but being able to be creative and figure out how to do work and manage all of the 18 million balls that are that are in the air.
Right. And there are a lot in the air for sure. But to your point, it was fun at the Coffee and Conversation yesterday, hosted by Granite City and Maple Grove. 8 o'clock, we had a group of about 12 over there, which that's a good sign. We were holding those Coffee and Conversations on Zoom. There was really good participation kind of early summer, and then people get busy and started to decrease a little bit. But it's another sign that people are needing to get out and see some familiar faces. So we had a great Coffee and Conversation yesterday at Granite City. And I got an opportunity to meet the folks that are opening the Freddy's and Rogers. And I was kind of blown away. They are, and now Sarah's hungry. She's like, I want to go over there with my kids.
Do they open at 10 a.m.?
Right. Want some of that ice cream. They have a hiring problem, which just kind of blew me away.
Really?
They need about, rough numbers, 80. And I think so far they've found about 15. And so it really just showcases the need in the community. So I bring that up for a lot of reasons. If you're looking for a job, know someone looking for a job, send them on over there. Great chamber members. And the other piece of it too is just the challenge, like I said, that's happening right now for a lot of different reasons. Here we have a business in the community wanting to open, needing to open, and they just can't find the help to do so.
Right. I wonder if it's people being afraid to get out and work, or who knows?
Yeah, it's
Hopefully.
definitely a challenge. But that Coffee and Conversation, if you've never been, there's just a lot of different opportunities for chamber members to get out, share ideas. I think at that coffee yesterday, we had a lot of good ideas to help them find the employees they're looking for, which includes the chamber website. There's a job board, the ability for not just posts for employment, but also we have the hot deals section where if you go on there and you're looking for something, a deal on something, there's chamber members that post to that regularly and put some good opportunities out there.
Yeah.
So whether you're like Freddy's and you're looking for employees or any of us looking for a deal, check out the I94westchamber.org website.
Yep, you can do job postings, hot deals, and anytime you have an event, you can also throw your event out on the chamber calendar. So that's good.
So we also here at the chamber have some masks left over. I shouldn't say left over, but still available because we picked up originally 16,000 masks from the state of Minnesota once our governor mandated that we wear masks. Chambers of Commerce were identified as a distribution point, so my phone and email has been blowing up with people wanting to stop into the office. Send me an email if you're looking for masks. They come in boxes of 50. We've been limiting the boxes to 3, just so everyone gets a chance if they need masks to come pick them up. But I still have a supply here. So if you're looking for masks, it's an opportunity to not have to go pay for them if you're a chamber member or technically we're supposed to serve Hennepin County from this chamber office. But I don't know about you guys, but it's still getting to me. I walk into gas stations or wherever all the time and I realize people are looking at me because I don't have a mask on.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember. But yeah, throw 3 in your car and then maybe you'll remember. Or motorcycle.
Right.
It's probably harder when you're driving that. Now you don't have to worry about it. Now that it gets cold, you'll be back in your car. So
Exactly. Sarah serves on our board of directors, and next month, Sarah, we're going to have an annual board retreat.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
That's always a good opportunity to plan and put together a strategy for how we can serve our members, which are the most important part of our Chamber of Commerce, is making sure we're staying relevant and helping, especially now in this crazy world we live in, being a good resource. So that's going to be held out at the Holiday Inn in Elk River. Julia over there is going to host that event for us. So we thank the Holiday Inn in Elk River for hosting our annual board retreat. And if anybody listening has thoughts or ideas on how we can improve this Chamber of Commerce, please send those to Sarah.
Wait a second. No, I'm definitely looking forward to the board retreat. We have a group of incredible folks on the board, and to have an opportunity to pause and really dig deep into where the chamber is, where we want it to go, and how we're going to get it there is going to be a great time to just be able to spend that, focused half day or day on serving all the members even better than we are now.
And speaking of members, Sarah, we've got a list here. I'm going to read really quick. It's not going to be as long as our golf sponsor list, but we always like to give a shout out to new members as well as those that have renewed their membership, which includes Twin City B, Vision Network, Strike Fitness, Silver Creek on Main, Granite City Maple Grove, Minnesota Excellence and Learning Academy, Premier Banks over there in Osseo, and Hy-Vee Maple Grove. Thank you. And it's really encouraging when I go to the post office or if it comes across electronically to see those renewals coming in and new members, and the phone's been ringing off the hook. I think people really are excited about, or I should say they're recognizing the need now more than ever to be connected and to be part of a business community.
Definitely. Yeah, there's immense value in that.
Another exciting announcement is our annual celebration, and kind of like the J&B golf gift that we're going to do. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but we're working on a annual celebration, which in the past has been our annual dinner, and we're going to combine that with the holiday celebration to call it the annual celebration. But we've got an awesome location. We're not ready to announce it yet, but it's going to be really fun. We've got Amy Marie Lemansky from AML Events volunteering as our event coordinator, and she is absolutely dynamite. So if you know Amy Marie, give her a shout if you're looking for some event coordination. But she's working hard for our annual celebration. We'll talk about that on our next podcast or our video cast.
Not Vidcast, yes, not
Vidcast.
podcast. That was the first time you flipped it this time. You're getting better.
I'm getting closer. Sarah, what's going on in your world? I know you mentioned that business is picking up and you've got some new projects, and we've talked in the past about what you do every day, and I'm sure now more than ever businesses are looking for help.
Yeah. So business has picked up. I'm working with some clients, and what I've realized is the biggest thing we're working on is value-added tasks versus non-value-added tasks. So it's really, really important to understand where you're spending your time within your business. So with this example, one of the clients, it was a monthly report. So value added with a monthly report is actually looking at the numbers, reviewing them, making informed business decisions based off of those numbers, and really looking at strategy. The non-value add time for a monthly report is how long it takes to actually gather those numbers and create those reports. So this client I was working with was spending about 3 hours gathering the numbers, and then didn't really have a lot of energy or time to then analyze the numbers. And so the biggest piece that we wanted to do was flip that time. So we were able to flip that to about 30 minutes gathering the numbers. So then if he still wants to spend 3 hours on that task, now he has 2.5 hours to actually review the numbers, understand what they're telling them about him, about his business, take strategic action based off of those numbers. So it's really, really important to pause and understand, even with the chamber, our board meeting, our board retreat is that pause and understand, well, what tasks and events are value add and which ones are not, and really making sure that it's not 90% non-value add and only 10% value add, but to flip that. And so my push for business owners would be, so maybe in this case, he was the one who was gathering the numbers and creating the reports and analyzing them. But in a lot of instances, the business owner is given the report. And so they do have that time to analyze the numbers. But it's very important to understand how things are being done. Because even if it's not you and it's your employees who are spending 3 hours, you can probably find better things for them to do. And really, if you're not spending time on value-added tasks, your business is not going to grow. It's not going to evolve. You may turn into Blockbuster. If there's too much maintained time, you don't have that time to grow or evolve. So it's really important to know how things are getting done within your organization. And so that's kind of that deeper level is where I go within organizations to see really what it takes to complete all of the tasks and reduce that non-value added time.
Yeah, that's super important. And I think a lot of folks, including myself, you kind of fall into that routine of it's always been done that way, so we're going to continue to do it that way.
Yes.
And you want to take people out of that and make them more efficient, right?
Yep.
It's almost a little bit like our friends at Cloud Media when they first came in, Sarah, and looked at the podcast we're going to do and turned it into a vidcast. So we can't thank Will and Carl enough for being with us every week or every time we do this vidcast, I should say. So as we kind of wind things down here, as we talked about kind of the sunset on summer, and I know we like to talk sports. You have your Rogers hockey shirt on, so you're getting ready for the hockey season, aren't you?
I am. I do have to register my kids still, but they're planning on having the season, so they're excited. They're playing hockey in the driveway the other day, so
getting ready for the season. It's kind of fun to watch the NHL playoffs, and
even though the Wild
didn't do too well,
Yeah.
but I'm disappointed there's not going to be a lot of college football happening, and pro football is not going to look the same, but at least it's a little bit of a distraction from everything going on in this world right now. So it's fun to have sports in our lives, and it's good to see that you're dressing up for the winter season.
I'm getting ready.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Another great show, and we're here for you at the Chamber. If you have any questions, comments, like we talked about, we've got a board retreat coming up next month. And ideas, comments are always welcome. Send those to Sarah, like I said earlier.
My email is info@I94westchamber.org.
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. Will and Carl on the controls. They're going to get this posted out there on social media. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. People can find it. Sarah shares it. I share it. Will, Carl, we all share it. So thanks for listening. Until next time, remember, it's all out there. It's just up to you to go get it right now.